South Korea has had the fastest tourism boom in Asia, 11 million international tourists in 2024. By 2026, the country is projected to break 20 million. K-pop, K-dramas, Korean food, Korean beauty, Korean technology. The Korean wave has made South Korea one of the most culturally exported countries on earth. Tourists arrive with very specific expectations, and then they get to Seoul and discover the country is nothing like the Instagram version. The real South Korea is more interesting, more complex, and more rewarding than the K-culture aesthetic suggests. In the next 12 minutes, I will explain why South Korea in 2026 is different from any country you have visited, the new K-ETA visa system, the real costs across regions, the 3 regions that matter, the cultural rules that mark you instantly, and the strategy that completely changes your trip. But first, you need to understand the visa rules, because 2026 brought a critical change. Visa rules for South Korea in 2026. The K-ETA system. This is South Korea version of an electronic travel authorization. It replaced visa-free entry for most Western nationalities since 2023 and applies in 2026. United States, United Kingdom, Canada, Australia, Japan, and many others get 90 days visa-free, but must apply for K-ETA before traveling. The cost is around $10. Valid 2 years. Multiple entries up to 90 days per visit. Critical update for Indians. In 2024, South Korea extended a 5-year multiple entry visa to Indian nationals for tourism. This is one of the longest tourist visas any major destination offers. Indians get 5 years multiple entry stays up to 90 days each. Almost no travel content has updated for this. No tourist tax in South Korea as of 2026. Airport departure tax is included in your flight ticket. The country has avoided the tourist tax trend that has hit Europe. Real costs of South Korea in 2026. Seoul has become one of the more expensive Asian capitals, but still cheaper than Tokyo. A mid-range hotel in central Seoul, around $80 to $140 per night. Higher in Gangnam and Myeongdong districts. Hotels in Busan and other cities, $60 to $100 for the same quality. Smaller cities and the countryside, $40 to $70. Korea is much cheaper outside Seoul. Korean food is exceptional value. A bowl of Korean barbecue ribs at a real restaurant, $15 to $25 per person. Korean barbecue dinner with multiple cuts of meat, $25 to $40 per person. Street food and casual Korean food, $5 to $10 per meal. Korea has the densest cafe culture in the world. A specialty coffee at a quality cafe, $3 to $5. Korean dessert cafes serve elaborate creations for $10 to $15. The cafe scene is itself a tourist experience. Transport. Seoul subway is excellent and cheap, about $1 per ride. KTX high-speed train from Seoul to Busan, 3 hours, around $50. The country is small. You can see most of it in a week with trains. A complete 10-day trip in Korea with mid-range hotels, mixing Seoul with one other region, around $1,200 to $1,700 per person plus flights. Cheaper than Japan, similar to Spain, more expensive than Vietnam. The 3 regions of South Korea every traveler should know. Region 1. Seoul and the capital area. The biggest tourist mistake is treating Seoul as one place. It is at least 6 distinct neighborhoods, each with its own personality. Gangnam is luxury and modern. Itaewon is international and diverse. Hongdae is youth and music. Insadong is traditional and craft. Myeongdong is shopping and food. Jongno is historic and palaces. Allow at least 4 full days in Seoul. The Gyeongbokgung Palace. The In Seoul Tower. The Bukchon Hanok Village. The DMZ day trip to the North Korean border. Day trips to Suwon and the surrounding history. Region 2. Busan and the South Coast. Busan is Korea's 2nd largest city and feels completely different from Seoul. Beach city, slower pace, fish markets, mountain temples, spectacular coast, the Gamcheon Culture Village, Haeundae Beach, Jagalchi Fish Market, Seok-Bolsa Temple in the mountains. Allow at least 3 days for Busan. Most travelers regret too. Region 3. Jeju Island. Korea volcanic island, a short flight south. Different culture, different food, different language. The Korean Hawaii. Beach culture, mountain hikes, Hala volcano, 3 days minimum. Quick pause. If this Korea breakdown is useful, drop a like. It tells the algorithm to show this to more travelers planning Korea. Now the cultural rules. Cultural rules that mark you as a tourist in South Korea. First, bowing. Korean culture has bowing as the primary greeting. A small bow when meeting someone, a deeper bow when entering a restaurant or shop, a slight bow when thanking someone. Not bowing marks you as foreign immediately. Second, age hierarchy. Korean culture is built around age-based respect. The older person determines pace of conversation. what to order, who pays. Asking someone age early in conversation is normal and expected. It establishes the social order. Third, eating etiquette. Hold rice bowl in your hand to eat, not on the table. Do not stick chopsticks vertically in rice. This resembles funeral rituals. Eat with the oldest person at the table. Pour drinks for others, never for yourself. Fourth, drinking culture. Korean business and social drinking is intense and ritualized. When pouring for someone, use two hands. When receiving a drink, hold the glass with two hands. Refusing drinks is difficult socially. Fifth, shoes off everywhere indoors. Houses, traditional restaurants, temples, some shops, even some doctor offices. Korea is one of the strictest shoes off cultures. Always check the entry mat or notice. Walking with shoes into someone's home is a major faux pas. Before I tell you the most important strategy for Korea, hit subscribe if this is useful. The channel covers complete country guides every week, and growing the subscriber count helps push these to more travelers planning trips. Now back to Korea. The strategy that almost no travel content explains. The biggest mistake first-time visitors make is spending all of their time in Seoul. Korea outside Seoul is where the country reveals itself. Seoul is dense, modern, international. The smaller cities like Busan, Jeju, Gyeongju have the slower Korea that visitors miss. The traditional Korea, the temple Korea, the mountain village Korea, the food Korea. Jeonju is the food capital of Korea. Gyeongju is the ancient capital with thousand-year-old temples. Andong has traditional villages where time stopped a century ago. None of these are typical first trip stops, but all are reachable by train. The Temple Stay Program. Foreigners can stay in actual Buddhist temples in the mountains. Wake at 4 a.m. for prayer. Eat vegetarian temple food. Hike the surrounding mountains. This is available across Korea and is one of the most memorable experiences travelers report. The travelers who include even one region beyond Seoul have a completely different Korea experience. The food gets better. The hotels get cheaper. The cultural rules are stricter and more interesting. The locals have more time. Seoul is great. The rest of Korea is greater. Here's the truth about Korean food that most travelers underestimate. The Korean food you have eaten outside Korea is not real Korean food. The bibimbap, the bulgogi, the Korean barbecue. The food in Korea is dramatically different and better. Real Korean meals come with banchan, small side dishes, usually 6 to 12, often refilled for free. The banchan changes by region, season, restaurant. This is where Korean food culture lives, not in the main dish. Kimchi is not one thing. Korea has over 200 types of kimchi, different vegetables, different fermentation styles, different regions. Every Korean family has its own recipe. Korean food is genuinely spicy in a way that other Asian cuisines often are not. The spice comes from gochujang, fermented chili paste, not from chilies directly. This produces a different kind of heat, slower, deeper, more umami. And then there is Korean street food. Markets like Gwangjang and Seoul, byeondegi, silkworm pupai, tteokbokki, spicy rice cakes, hotdog, sweet pancakes, mandu, dumplings. Street food in Korea is some of the best in Asia, often better than the restaurants. So what should you do if you're planning Korea in 2026? First, apply for K-ETA online before your trip. 3 days minimum recommended. The official site is k-eta.go.kgor. Be careful of fake sites. Second, budget 4 days for Seoul minimum, plus 3 days for one other region. Busan for beach and food. Jeju for nature and Korean Hawaii feel. Gyeongju for history and traditional culture. Third, book popular restaurants in advance. Korean fine dining and famous Korean barbecue spots fill up weeks in advance, especially Seoul. Walk-in is rarely possible at top-tier places. Fourth, travel in shoulder season. April for cherry blossoms. October and November for autumn colors. These are the best times for Korea. Summer is hot and humid. Winter is cold, but beautiful. Fifth, spend time in Korean cafes. The cafe culture is the modern social institution of Korea. Sitting in a cafe for 2 hours, watching the neighborhood, having multiple drinks. This is the way modern Koreans spend their time. South Korea in 2026 is one of the most rewarding destinations in Asia for first-time visitors. The infrastructure is excellent. The food is exceptional. The culture is layered and interesting. The country rewards multi-region exploration. If this video helped you plan a real Korea trip, drop a like, subscribe, and press the bell icon. Tomorrow, another country worth knowing. See you then.